This guy was basically, I'm sorry, up off of Huntington Drive. This van was going in the 80s and miles an hour, wrong side of the road, jumping over medians, fishtailing. So extremely dangerous types of driving, putting the public at risk, and that's probably one of the reasons why this pursuit continues this morning.
Right in front of Echo Park here, so things are going to slow down for him just a little bit as he tries to make his way through traffic here. Now, he is kind of in the right lanes of traffic, and that's what's going to be affected in about a quarter mile here. So unless he kind of gets off the freeway or makes his way over to the left lane, only one left lane is going to be open at about Glendale Boulevard here. So let's see what he chooses to do as he comes out from under.
Oh, definitely. It looks like we're getting off the freeway. There was an accident up there that's blocking a lot of the lanes. So, no, he's staying on the freeway. He's going to be, the suspect is going to get himself really kind of jammed up. And this is one of those ones where, you know, it's just one officer from the California Highway Patrol. So you kind of wonder, you know, there's policies in place, even if he's stopped in traffic, because it looks like there's only one lane open. Even if he becomes stopped in traffic, is that officer going to be able to actually get out of that vehicle and try to physically get this person into custody? That vehicle, a deadly weapon, I'm sure that officer isn't just going to get out all, you know, hibbity-bibbity and say, hey, buddy, can you get out of that van? So, you know, this is what we're dealing, that's what he's dealing with, and right now it looks like they are looking for other officers to help. You can see the traffic stop. Looks like this driver sees the problem and is going to continue, and whoop, I thought maybe not getting off the freeway, but it looks like we're getting off the freeway now.
Here. So as he makes his way over to Temple, we'll see if he crosses through the intersection or makes a left or right turn onto Temple here. We'll know that in just a matter of moments here. It looks like it's going to be a left turn eastbound on Temple. And that is kind of where we are right now. So eastbound on Temple,
yes,
we're essentially going to be heading over towards the 110 freeway.
Yeah, definitely. Law enforcement, that is one of the first things that, you know, that I kind of learned in the media is that law enforcement, that is their deal. They have the quality of time. They're going to be able to wait this guy out. They're going to be able to follow this van until it runs out of gas. That is definitely on their side. Now you got an idea. It's showing about 50 miles an hour. We're on Glendale. The Glendale is the street. We're southbound on Glendale Boulevard, another street that's really kind of packed down there, and also a lot of traffic, a lot of red lights. And now we're making our way. I believe that's going to be the Third Street Bridge or First Street Bridge. And look at that, just, you know, cutting around, another red light. And, you know, it's not the infraction so much, but the danger to the public when this van barrels through these intersections. You know, nobody's expecting that. And you just got to hope that he doesn't collide with any of these people on the roadway this morning.
5 copies. And that's going to be Beaudry. He's going to make the right turn onto Beaudry there. And at this point, he is going to have perhaps some access to that 110 freeway if he knows his way around here. So if you know the area there, he's kind of parallel to the 110 freeway southbound, just on the west side of the street here. So I think my sense is that he's probably trying to look for an entrance onto the 110 freeway here. So we'll kind of watch.
That's right. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm working with Vinny and the pilot. There he is, right there. There he is. He's going into the city. Vinny, to the left. To the left. He's going into the city. Into the city. He's going across the freeway. There he is. So he's eastbound 4th Street. You got him, Vinny. Sorry about that, Tony. Yeah, you know, this is going to become really difficult for us up here in the helicopter or in the streets, and there's a lot of buildings in the way, and then also bridges. But I don't think the suspect knows that. But you know, you're right. They respond to what that suspect is doing. If that suspect would have just kind of slowed down and kind of just drove normal, possibly the helicopter would just have followed it as soon as the van pulled over. That's when magically the officers would have appeared there and taken that suspect into custody. The continuation of the bad driving is the only way I can describe it, is what's going to keep LAPD on this guy's tail. And again, every time he gets close to somebody, every time there's a red light, it's not dramatic. I'm being serious. I'm telling you, even to this day, I get goose pimples, my blood runs cold. You just don't want to see somebody get hurt. This is going to be northbound Figueroa. We're going to be coming up on Sunset and Cesar Chavez here in just a minute if he continues on. And light traffic, that's the only big plus about this morning. Light traffic on these streets.
Approaches even as we speak here. It's a red light at that. And it's going to be a right turn on Sunset Boulevard. And at this point, he's going to be making his way in towards Chinatown. So that's kind of the direction we're going here. He's paralleling the 101 freeway.
Wrong side of the road.
I believe this is going to be that Jack in the Box. Okay, just kind of bear with us here. Yeah, he comes close to the intersection there, and now he's going to be heading in towards Chinatown here. So this is going to be
definitely. And you know, I love it when you get asked that. It's like, well, what do you think this guy's doing? Hey, you know, the only thing you can say is driving at the moment, or driving poorly. You know, it did start out in the Alhambra area. We did make our way all the way to downtown, and now it does appear that we're working our way east-ish. So perhaps we're going back to the area where that vehicle was stolen. You just don't know, but I can tell you that right now you see these intersections. I see more cars out there. I see more civilians, and I just get more and more worried. And it looks like we're going to be going on another bridge right here as we're making our way. I believe this is going to be on Cesar Chavez. So we're right by Union Station. Clearly, you see all the railroad tracks. And you know, at one point, I'm hearing them talk about it. You know, they're basically relaying the information to their supervisors. When I say they, law enforcement, basically saying, look, this guy's driving on the wrong side of the road, this guy's running red lights, and then that supervisor is either going to make the decision, you know, do we keep chasing him or do we just back off? And right now, it looks like there's at least staying in the air. The LAPD is definitely going to be calling it from the air, and law enforcement on the ground. Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Ooh, going the wrong, oh my gosh, okay. So this is dangerous. This is where it gets dangerous, where you can see kind of the desperation in his style of driving there. I mean, literally, okay, thank you, literally doing anything to avoid having to slow down and stop for anyone at that point here. So doing some pretty desperate
so many times, and a lot of times, you know, the suspect basically just gonna run out freedom as long as they can. I think that's really the mentality of anybody running. Is like, you know, they pretty much know they're going to get caught. But like you said, gas, that could be the big problem. And I mentioned that earlier on when he was driving extremely fast on Huntington Drive earlier on. That van was fishtailing a lot, and it just made you realize there's no weight in the back of that van. So I kind of thought, well, maybe the tank's empty. But you can see the van just driving more normal. I don't know what the speed limit is down there, probably about 35, so technically speeding, but at any rate, continues on, and it looks like this is the first time. Oh, I thought he was actually going to stop for a stoplight. I stand corrected. Running another light there. Yep, there he goes. But traffic's getting really heavy, and I just wonder every time he gets into
a little bit of traffic there, and that white
he's stuck.
Ahead of him.
Yep.
Hang on, just monitoring at this point. Okay, so PD-10. The airship above is letting us know, just for information purposes, that they are just
they're just following. I guess it's just being followed in the air right now. The California Highway Patrol, they backed out of it. Basically, probably from the same thing. It's like it's a stolen van. Do we want to see somebody lose their life over a stolen vehicle? No. And so somebody's making these decisions, and it's based on protocols. It's based on what they've been taught and how they can weigh out all the whole situation. So right now, just being followed in the air by LAPD helicopter, but that doesn't mean that everybody's walked away. Most likely what's going to happen now is the van's driving a little bit more normal. If that van does come to a stop someplace, I know it, we've seen it so many times in the past, magically all these officers from whatever law enforcement agency where it ends will just appear. And we'll take that suspect into custody. The helicopter calling out the streets, telling the officers on the ground where this van is. Looks like we're going to be back. We're back on Valley, so this is kind of where we picked it up. So perhaps he is making his way back to where this whole thing started. Oh, definitely. And you can see it. There you go. The tactics seem to work. That desperateness of, you know, the cops are right behind me. I got to go. It kind of wore off. The van still driving 50-something miles an hour, now slowing down a little bit. Valley's a little bit of a bigger street. The helicopter, LAPD, thank goodness for them. They're out there. They're calling it out. They're letting the officers on the ground know where it's at. But it even looks like they are, you know, they're lightweight leaving as well. I got to find out for sure. But it looks like they may be calling this thing, just everybody's calling it off. So we'll keep an eye on it, and hopefully this van doesn't collide with it.
They are not in pursuit of this vehicle. They have backed off. They have basically let it go for now. They are still kind of monitoring it from afar. but they are not in direct pursuit of this vehicle here. So we're just going to kind of track along at a higher altitude here, and we're going to hang back for just a little bit and kind of watch where this thing goes here. But Valley Boulevard here now kind of northeast bound, just passing Rowan Avenue there, but as you can see from our Skyview 5 mapping overlay, just again Valley Boulevard here, and again they are not in pursuit of this vehicle any longer, so out of an abundance of caution for the folks that this guy might be directly impacting here. Whether or not there are two people, I have not been able to confirm that, but okay, copy that.
Well, it definitely seems to be working. That van's, the attitude is really kind of simmered down, as it would be. Just kind of like just doing the traffic, the speed of traffic. Hope that wasn't a red light. I don't think it was. So it does. The tactics do seem to be working. The LAPD helicopter, it's an unusual sight for us. He went way up high, possibly to make that suspect feel like nobody's watching him, or at least LAPD isn't watching them anymore. Usually they're way below us, so we are actually got almost a better view right now, which is unusual in itself. But the van just continues to drive down there. They are calling out the streets. They know where this guy or woman is, and right now it is just kind of a watch and see type of situation. The huge plus right now is the backing off tactic does seem to be working in this case. This driver definitely slowing down, at least not running every stop sign and red light that comes in front of it, and you can see possibly just making their way back to a place where it's familiar, where perhaps they're going to try to jump out and try to run, or just abandon the vehicle somewhere. But it shows you that these tactics do work, and those law enforcement, they definitely know what they're doing.
Okay. Everyone's kind of holding way back, just so you know.
Definitely. Oh, definitely, and in the desperation is that was like the only thing that I could really come up with, is that driver was driving extremely desperate. There was you could see there was just this desperation in the moves. It looks like we did just run a red light right there, and I was kind of wondering. It almost looked like the van was going to stop there in the intersection. So perhaps this person is really looking for that opportunity to just kind of stop and get out and run, or just abandon the stolen property. So we'll keep an eye on it. But just again to say everything about the law enforcement, those officers that are behind that vehicle, they're human beings, and they've got the adrenaline, and they're basically challenged. It looks like we're turning onto a residential street, but the bosses, the management, you got to give them credit, because they're the ones that are basically telling the guys on the road, look,
we're just trying
you got to back off,
and
they follow the rules, just like we do at work every day, Tony.
Too much tremendous pressure, which kind of forces them into a situation
here we
where they're driving super erratically.
Here we go.
This might, they're actually slowing down at this point here. And,
well, he's clearly watching us. He's clearly watching Fox right now, and keeping an eye on what's going on.
But again, we will kind of watch and see how this kind of unfolds here. But not necessarily driving too erratically at this point, and that is certainly some good news here, slowing down speed.
We are, we've talked about that in the past too. Do we have like the Blue Thunder Whisper mode? No, we definitely don't. And in this case, we're definitely not alone. There's an armada of helicopters out here. But you have to remember too that lens is very, very powerful. We are extremely high up in the air. If you would stop and try and listen, of course you're going to hear the helicopter. Inside that van, I would guess probably not. I'm being very serious about that. He probably doesn't know. Right. Yes, definitely. I'm sure that's probably going through the suspect's mind right there. Looked like there might have even been a camera crew down there on the ground as it just went through that residential area, hitting those bumps again. Every time he or she starts speeding up, I just always worry, especially right now when we're in these little neighborhoods, these tight older neighborhoods with these little tiny roads. Just somebody's a dog or a kid just steps out of it. It's gonna. We don't want to see anything like that, but definitely looks like, I would only guess, looks like they're trying to find a spot where they can kind of get out and just walk away and be like, I don't know where that came from. There you go. You got somebody probably clueless about what's going on right there, or, yeah, what's going on here,
There may be some sort of a transaction here. It looks like this may be someone he knows.
Anyways, we'll see what's going on right there. It looked like there was an exchange of words,
that could
at
be
least.
Someone that he knows.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe the driver called that person over for a minute. But at any rate, driving much slower. Interesting for sure this afternoon or this, late morning. And the van just continues to drive. Law enforcement, I have a feeling they're nearby. That's the only thing I can say. And it doesn't seem like, it seems like this van just taking any turn it can. And it looks like here we go again. Let's see if this is it. Let's see. And
Sheffield at Norwich.
Well, looks like they're putting it in park. Yeah. We can't tell what earlier on I was trying to look through the front window when we first got over this, and it clearly was just the driver, but it is a van. There might be somebody in the back, but that would have been a heck of a ride for anybody sitting in the back of that van. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And there you go. Yeah. Again, I'm just going to say suspect right now. But at any rate, got out, kind of looked around, like, hey, is anybody still following me? Oh, look at that! I'm getting away with it. I don't know if the van ran out of gas or why, but this is an unusual spot, and also not running from. And it's got food. There you go. Maybe it was a catering van. Maybe that was what's going on there. Had an emergency delivery that they had to make right here. Maybe it's an Uber Eats or something. But at any rate, looks like got out with a lot of food.
There's certainly an awareness that there are helicopters above.
When have we seen one that's not, Tony?
Acting almost nonchalantly.
Left the food there on the curb. So maybe it's that touchless delivery where you don't because of COVID they don't want to knock on the door. Yeah, contactless delivery. Up. Yep, there you go. I told you. There you go. No.
They tried to box her in. They tried to box her in. She was not having it.
And we're off again. So it just makes you kind of wonder what was going on there. It looked like this guy was doing some grocery shopping and was unloading the van. But at any rate, here we go again. And that was definitely Alhambra PD that pulled up there.
In pursuit again, so they're about half a block back. But kind of moving through this residential area here. Bear with us here. We're getting kind of on this thing. She's kind of essentially driving.
And you got to give props to that Alhambra PD officer. He tried to block him in. The van definitely went up on the curb there to get around. So Alhambra PD, they're definitely trying to bring this thing to an end. They're trying to get the suspect in custody. But that was that was the strangest thing ever. That guy got out, brought some food out, and it looked like he was getting more groceries. And then
she immediately got in the car, hit the gas, and the chase is on again. So. Warwick Avenue at Cronus Street.
Definitely.
So this is going to be about
definitely. But again, it's not over, so we can't really poke that much fun at it. The van's still moving. Speeds clearly not as high as before, but you can see the erratic driving is starting again, making those hard turns. I'm not sure if Alhambra is actually pursuing that vehicle or if.
Yeah,
there are okay. Apparently there's a number of Alhambra PD that are getting back into position to try to bring this thing to an end. Also, like we talked about earlier, I'm not that familiar with Alhambra PD and their policy. I don't know if they can or if they are pit maneuver trained, if they're able to. You clearly saw that one officer made an effort to block the vehicle. So they do have some techniques to bring this thing to an end. Alhambra PD following. I got to say, I can tell you they're way behind. There's 4 vehicles there from Alhambra PD, and there you got a street cleaner. And this guy's going to just kind of go right around him there. Thank goodness there was nobody on the other side running. They actually did run a stop sign right there with a bunch of vehicles. But the van continues. Alhambra PD, they're getting themselves back into position.
You will have a decision to make north, south, or west. That's going to be northbound on Eastern now. So heading up towards, say, Huntington Drive at this point here. So just kind of moving through the area here, and again, a refusal to pull over, stop, and
definitely.
But
I'm looking at the map right now, and because I was like, are we in Alhambra? Technically, we're not. We're like over by the El Sereno area, and they have all these little smaller names, but this is near Braid Park is where we're at right now. So I don't think this technically is their jurisdiction, but boy, they want to bring this thing to an end. They want this suspect that they continue just to kind of follow along, and like you said, like we both saw, that guy just like basically tried to block him in, and it didn't happen. Back on Huntington Drive right now, and these are bigger streets, and you got somebody walking across the street right there. I wouldn't be happy if I was a pedestrian and that guy did that. So it just now, the danger level is kind of just picking up again as this guy's running red lights and just driving reckless out here this morning.
We need to see is a pedestrian get struck or anything like that on the street by her erratic driving. So at any rate, we're kind of moving eastbound now along Huntington Drive here from Portola.
It's very dangerous.
And traffic up ahead pretty light at this point. So
we've seen tragedy happen unfold in front of us many times, and just in our business, people. I think because we're around our cars all the time, and we kind of become desensitized at how dangerous a vehicle can be, especially a vehicle moving at speed. And people lose their lives every day involved in traffic accidents, and heaven forbid this vehicle hits somebody, a pedestrian. We kind of lose that. We get desensitized to how dangerous a vehicle moving can be. There's some law enforcement right there. Looks like we're going into an alleyway. These are always difficult because you just don't know unless this person knows this alleyway. A lot of these dead end. So we'll keep an eye on this right there. I'm trying to look out the window just to get a little heads up. And we're continuing.
Here we go, just kind of parallel.
Vinny's pointing out there's a structure fire out. Actually, LA City Fire, I saw it on my dispatch. There's an actual structure fire nearby. But right now, this van is driving on some in an alleyway out there, and still making these weird turns. There was law enforcement about a block away, just parked there. So I don't know if he's taunting this guy, because it looks like he's heading right back to where that officer was parked just moments ago.
She just essentially went around a block here. So just coming up on the light, just a matter of a few yards here, where she actually turned right just a short while ago here. Going to continue along. No, she's going to make that turn.
Yep.
So this may be an area to me that she might be familiar with. I'm just going on a hunch here, but at any rate, she made the right turn over there on Poplar, and she's now in this neighborhood here. So instead of making a right turn into the alley like we just saw her do a couple of minutes ago, she went.
It looked like a tray of food. It looked like some sort of serving dish
that
this guy got out, and then also went back and looked like had groceries, had bags of groceries in his hand or her hand. So they're all a little strange. This one is definitely going to make the odd file for sure. The van continues just to kind of drive around out here, very residential. These streets a little bit newer, a little wider, which is a plus. That one officer seems to be at that intersection, and we're going back again.
Okay, so
we're going back again. We were just here just a minute ago. So if he
gone around this block twice now.
Definitely. And there's a law enforcement officer at that intersection. If he makes a right turn this time, he's going to go right back where he was. Looks like the van's kind of stopped there, and was talking to somebody else again. That's kind of unusual. So he's making a right turn. When he gets to that main intersection, there's a black and white and a law enforcement officer in that parking in that little store like area. Was backing up earlier on, kind of like trying to maybe. There he is, right there. You see him on the top of the shot. Gas station. I didn't know what it was. But yeah, there's law enforcement. Two of them.
Indeed, Frank.
Yeah, well,
now,
he went by him twice already, so it might, you know, I hope he's not taunting the officers. That would just be wrong. But at any rate, made a U-turn this time now, going away from there, so we're leaving that area where he's been making those U-turns. Somebody right there holding a sign ran out and was holding a sign. Hopefully it said "pull over, buddy." But we maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But back onto Huntington Drive, driving a little bit better. But you just see it. Law enforcement all over the place when this guy stops. Hopefully this time it'll come to an end. Another red light.
Continuing west along Huntington through Van Horn Avenue at this point here. So kind of heading into a direction that she had just come from a few minutes ago. So kind of heading through the northeast area here in through the Alhambra area, but okay, I guess we'll just kind of see what she does here. No units that are directly behind her. Airships above kind of following along from afar, and now she has just stopped at this red light with no direct pressure behind her. She is just now in a situation where she can actually stop for the red light and not have to worry about units coming up behind her. Okay, I've got you.
It looked like some food. Yeah, it looked like it looked like one of those giant aluminum.
Yeah, it looked like one of those giant aluminum. But I guess we'll just continue to see how she carries this on here. But another red light or a stop sign with a pedestrian there. Oh my gosh. Okay,
yes,
so that's
he seems to be very chatty. This person seems to enjoy having a conversation with anybody that'll grab his ear. We've seen him talk to like two people now, just that it happened to be near the van. And again, we don't know if these are people at home watching and going and trying to make contact. And believe me, law enforcement does not want that at all. And neither do we, because you just don't know what this person is thinking. But we've seen him have a discussion with at least two pedestrians so far, and right now basically doing the, I'm just a guy driving a van. I'm here on Huntington Drive. We're at a stoplight, and
drive very erratically there. So waiting for the red light, and there she goes now westbound along Huntington, right at Rosemead. So Rosemead Avenue, I should say. Moving into the left turn pocket. There. Let's see if that is a move to make the left turn.
Blending in, probably one of the best things you could do right now, and at least it's safer for the folks driving around him. Again, coming to another stoplight here. So you see it on the map. This is Sereno and Huntington Drive. So this is kind of a major intersection out here. Law enforcement, I am sure they are nearby. Hopefully they'll be able to bring this thing to a stop. We saw that El Sereno officer try to, interact or basically bring it to a, what is it called, pursuit intervention. They wanted to do that intervention, pull in front and bring that thing to a stop. But right now, this guy's just kind of driving around. We're keeping an eye on him. I know law enforcement is as well, but they are definitely not in pursuit.
It seems to me that kind of the people who put on their pursuits.
Now he's talking to the guy next to him. So he's talking to the driver next to him right there. You can see him talking to the truck driver, clearly trying to get anybody's ear. Vinny's giving us some fantastic shots this morning, getting a shot inside the van right there. So clearly chatty, don't know what he's talking about. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's not. It looks like we're pulling over again, or making it. No, we're not. Okay. So at any rate, just continuing on right there, Eastern Avenue. Right here, not that big of a street. A lot of people know Eastern as like the big, 6-lane road. Right here, it's a little smaller, but it just continues on. Law enforcement calling it out, and you just got to wonder if these guys are close enough, they might try to do something. Next time he slows down, there's some law enforcement. Yep, we're going the other way. That's LAPD's. Looked like it was Northeast Division. So at any rate, everybody knows this is going on, and meaning the law enforcement. And so they're just kind of being in the area in case they're needed. I'm doing the air quotes, needed if this comes to an end.
At any rate, there are cars in front and behind, so it's not like she's going to be able to charge through unless she gets really aggressive again. So hopefully she doesn't, but that's kind of a look right there. She is kind of looking out the window. Okay, she's seeing someone she knows or something she's familiar with. She's kind of turning the wheel to the left, but okay, well, continuing south now. Continuing south along Eastern. and we're passing in front of an elementary school. Doesn't look like
there's no doubt about
that,
and that is the reason why. One of those weird questions is like, why do we follow these, or why do the law enforcement? Because this is a person that's committing crimes, that has been a danger to the public, could be a danger to the public in a heartbeat. Like you were saying, Tony, we just don't understand. We have no rhyme to reason. There you go. He was using the left turn lane to pass some vehicles right there. In a heartbeat, this guy could be a danger to the public again, possibly injure himself, hopefully never injure anybody else.
That's what's going on here.
So yeah, that's the reason why law enforcement want this guy in custody.
As we make our way over towards,
possibly, there might be more to it, and maybe, look on the bright side, maybe this person might get some help if he gets into custody and is able to maybe find some counseling or help for whatever ails this driver right now. Definitely. Right.
Whoa, why not? Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, don't know what that guy was doing. Okay, now he's made a U-turn. Whoever was blocking that intersection, maybe in an attempt to slow her down, is now, okay, Rich, why not just?
Definitely.
Okay.
And it does seem like almost like more people are getting involved. That little car right there, I was just going to ask Vinny to go a little bit wider. That car basically was blocking the road, trying to bring that van to a stop. And now you can see that that vehicle is in pursuit. And this is something that I'm telling you, law enforcement will pull that guy over as quickly as, if not faster, than the suspect itself. If he actually tries to do a pit maneuver, I don't know what I will do, because it looks like that vehicle's trying to get into place. So somebody else is getting involved here. Now it looks like possibly passing. And Tony, who knows? This could be a friend of the suspect, or somebody that might have lived at that house and knows this person, and maybe trying to somehow communicate some sense into this guy, saying, "Hey, look, just pull over." Or it could just be some kind of renegade rebel guy that's just trying to bring it to an end on his own.
Kind of made a quick U-turn and is now following along here. So maybe in an attempt to get this woman to stop, maybe it's someone that knows the female suspect here. But wow, yeah, this is wild here. Okay, so Valley Boulevard now, guys. Just a heads up, Valley Boulevard now westbound. We'll be coming up on Lincoln Park. We'll be coming up on the backside
Definitely.
of County
And
Metro Center.
And any kind of vigilante out there that would think like, oh, I'm gonna bring this to an end. Believe me, law enforcement, these guys, I know it might come as a shocker. They are well trained at what they do, and believe me, it is a lot harder than anybody could think to just kind of bring a van to a stop or bring a suspect to just kind of give up. So that car right there now kind of falling back. Hopefully that person got a little bit of sense and was like, all right, it's not as easy as I thought, or I'm not getting this guy's attention, and it continues on. But definitely there was some definite interaction right there with that little
right behind that white
the van and then chasing after them. Right now, though, that van just kind of doing roadway speed back on the Valley Boulevard, making our way back into the city. We're going to be we're getting kind of close to the north side of USC Medical again, so definitely out of the Alhambra area, and moving with traffic, just kind of blending in. I don't know if the driver's going to do that whole let's go back into the city and then come all the way back into the Alhambra area or not, but right now, basically driving with the traffic, and okay, as soon as I said it, there he goes. It looks like he's going to run another red light right there. So at any rate, this is the reason why LAPD, all the law enforcement that's been involved, want to bring this thing to a stop. Just making those dangerous moves, even though it was kind of slow and looked cautious. Somebody not paying attention that's got the green, it could have gone the other way.
But and now, wow, okay. Yeah, strange happenings, but again, now.
Yes. that is for sure. And believe me, I've been accused many a times for doing what you're not supposed to do. Fiddling with the radio, on the phone, do social media while driving. And I'm not alone. And a lot of these folks on the road are doing the same thing. I'm wondering, Vinny, can you push in real quick? Is that little car again? That's basically right there making the turn. He's turning off, but I think that was the car. That was the car again. So followed this van to this point, but now for some reason pulling off, but which is the right thing to do. The van kind of just driving on there. You just don't know. Maybe that was somebody that was even willing to say like, "Hey, get in my car, and we can do. I'm going to help you out." But at any rate, hopefully that wasn't the plan, because law enforcement frowns on that as well. Right now, the van just continues to drive, more or less traffic speeds, and again, it's one of those ones. We're following it, and a lot of folks at home might be saying, well, no, it's not even a pursuit, guys. Technically, no, but law enforcement keeping an eye on this van for sure, and they definitely want to get this guy.
They are trained that this is what they do, so they have their tactics, and even though we don't necessarily understand it all the time, they know what they're doing, and they.
There we go. Here's another person.
In the best
Here's another person. Looks like
here, so
either it's either a fan of the media or knows that driver. Trying to get the attention of the driver.
Oh my gosh.
Kind
of pointing in that
you
direction.
just never
here,
know.
Like
Oh my goodness. Anyways. And welcome to Los Angeles. So at any rate, there we go. Another person talking to getting some items from the suspect. Apparently, this van. We only thing we know about the van is that it was stolen. It might have been a catering truck. It might have been a delivery truck for some kind of groceries. It looks like he just dropped off some gave that person something. It looked food item-ish, maybe a drink or something. But so maybe this guy is just unloading what he's got inside that van. That might be probably more logical about what's going on right there. But then again, logic never plays any part in pursuit watching, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely. Here's another person just getting a couple of moments of fame, maybe getting a picture for social media there.
Just trying to capture
this is a point where even I kind of start feeling unusual about watching and following these things, because it turns into this kind of event or a circus of a pursuit circus, as it would be. Everybody wants to get their couple of seconds of fame, and it's all well and good, but we can't say it enough. That's a vehicle. This guy has been driving erratically. If he collides with somebody, if he hits a pedestrian, if he gets into an accident, somebody might get hurt or worse. And it's not an event. It is a pursuit. This is somebody breaking the law, and law enforcement doing what they can to keep the public safe. And the public seems to be, basically like a moth to a flame. They're actually coming out here trying. It almost looks like they're trying to get themselves injured, and that's definitely not what anybody wants to see.
This way, probably about 20-30 minutes ago here, as we were coming through downtown in an eastbound direction, heading in towards northeast LA. So. Just to give you an idea, can we widen out the shot, Rich? Can we widen out the shot just a little bit here? We've got that truck yard, the rail yard over on the right
definitely
side.
That woman clearly, making a show for that suspect, and also the media, then the person at the corner, then the guy that just ran up and was basically trying to get a cell phone picture or maybe something there. That was just an innocent pedestrian there on the side of the road. But the van continues to drive where it's going. Well, hopefully it's going to, wherever it goes, that destination is where it's going to stop. The gal's going to get out. Law enforcement's going to take them into custody. The only thing I can tell you is wherever we're going, we're making great time, but we definitely have no idea where that destination is.
And we're going to be heading over towards Piper Tech, over towards Union Station, in towards Chinatown along Cesar Chavez here. So she can always make a left or right here along Mission Road, which she was just on a couple of minutes ago. Don't know what she's going to decide to do. She's behind that building there, but let's see. Okay, there she is. Going to make the left. Okay.
Yeah.
If she makes a left, she can get under the freeway
right,
there.
And the farther we get away from that Alhambra area where that suspect got out and took the food out and was grabbing the grocery bags, the more I'm thinking that this guy is not going to a location. It's basically just kind of just driving. And we haven't seen him pop. There he goes. He popped out on the other side of the freeway. But the longer, the farther we get away, from. The farther we get away from, there he goes, he's going south now, he's going south now.
To the LA River,
the farther we get away from the Alhambra area, the more likely I'm thinking that this thing isn't just going to stop and the guy's going to get out because he's probably in an area where he doesn't know. Right now this is not even really technically a road, I don't think. This is more of an area for loading and unloading of trucks. We're getting that very commercial area just east of the LA River. So again, might be a good spot to jump out and try to run and blend in, but we haven't seen the van slow down. We haven't seen it pull over. And again, we just don't know what, nobody knows what this guy's plan is. Looks like we're making a U-turn now. And we're going to be, hopefully we'll head back to LA. Oh, maybe it's going to stop.
Away is that one officer that she just passed. And now she's behind him, a couple hundred yards away. And the officer, Rich, is going to be a couple hundred yards in front of her.
A theft of opportunity. Yeah,
okay.
it could have been just I'm just kind of guessing now that maybe all that food was some sort of catering or delivery, and the poor employee or owner of the company just kind of left the keys in there, and this guy saw the opportunity and took it. I'm not even going to say he's going to come to a stop because every time I say it, he continues on. But it looks like he's almost looking for parking right there. He keeps making these kind of circles, or he's biding his time, saying, is law enforcement just going to pop out of the woodwork if I come to a stop, or maybe something else, but it definitely looked like he might have been thinking about pulling over, which would have been great. But now it looks like we're going to continue on, and now we're definitely in the downtown area, and very close, like we said earlier,
that should be Mission Road.
By the LA River. So definitely going to be kind of the Skid Row, Arts District, that type of general area, and now making his way slowly, making another U-turn here. But it seems like, I mean, Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like he's kind of looking for a spot just to bring this thing to an
northbound on Mission Road, heading up towards essentially the 101 freeway. So, we continue to watch this guy. Stolen vehicle pursuit. Well, not necessarily a pursuit, but more of a tracking situation here, where they are not directly behind her, not directly in pursuit of her.
Hopeful interpretation.
Northbound coming
just
up
like
on the
we just keep watching this guy, and at least the speeds have slowed down. That is for sure. And again, just kind of making good time, but completely lost, and just driving around down here in the downtown Los Angeles area. Definitely, the only plus is right now it's going to be very industrial, but that doesn't mean that somebody's not going to step out, or a van is going to back out of something. But at least driving a little bit slower. And yep, and Vinny was just shouting out that the officers are right there. They are aware that this vehicle is in the area. They are nearby. They definitely want to take this guy into custody. And it doesn't make any difference if it's LAPD, the California Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department when we were in the East LA area, or Alhambra PD. They want to bring this thing to an end. They want this guy in custody. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, at least a situation where she's driving through. This would be kind of the third time along Cesar Chavez, and actually we just passed Cesar Chavez. We've just passed Cesar Chavez. We're on Mission Road now, and we just passed Cesar Chavez here. So this would be the third time along this stretch of road in particular here. But had a car in front of her, so she had no choice really but to stop. There was no way she was kind of boxed in at that point. Passing a unit of the LAPD.
Yeah, there's right another law enforcement right there. Is that guy just on patrol? Maybe. Is it or does he just happen to be on the streets where they're calling it out because he knows that perhaps this guy is going to pull over and they're going to have that opportunity? I don't think they're actually going to wait till he gets into traffic Michigan and jump out and forcefully try to take this guy into custody, especially after they saw what happened with Alhambra PD. That officer tried to block that van in, and that guy basically just, didn't hit the vehicle, but was aggressively leaving, and that basically says this driver is still desperate to get away, and you don't want to put the officers in harm's way, and you don't want to put the officers in a way where they might have to use force to bring this to an end. So they understand all this. They understand all this, and that weighs into how they can stop this van.
And towards Alhambra again, guys.
The goal would definitely be just to have this guy just get out of the van and just wait for a law enforcement to come and cuff him up. And we've seen that. We've seen that in the past, but definitely just kind of, you can see it. He's just biding his time driving that van around, and it is just probably just the last moments of freedom. He's got to know by now that law enforcement is in the area, is following him. There you go. He's running another red light. He got a little desperate right there. And who knows why he'll wait at some lights and run others. It's just something to watch right now. And continuing on, you can see it on the map right there. We're on Mission near Workman, and it looks like he got right up in the front there, and probably ran, just because I'm looking at the other cars, probably ran another light. And again, these are, in this area, everybody's moving a little bit slower. There's always a lot of traffic, but there's going to be that one person that's late for an appointment, going to hit as soon as that light turns green, just going to go, and hopefully there's not going to be a collision.
So it's coming through on Alhambra? Okay. Left turn pocket.
Well, I was going to say we're still in the downtown area, but I believe that we're kind of over by Lincoln Heights right now. We're getting the Lincoln Heights area, coming up on, Lincoln Park. So we're making our way back over towards USC Medical, in that general direction, eastbound on Mission, basically. Yeah, eastbound, north side of downtown, and actually east, and we're going east on Mission. So kind of going back towards the Alhambra area. He's not driving as fast, but if he gets back into that same neighborhood again, we know he's probably going to pull over, or maybe he wants to go pick up the food that he dropped off. Yeah, that might not have been what he wanted to do right there. So continuing on, and it wasn't close by any means, but definitely looked like he was going to run that light, but that Camaro cut him off. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we do see that occasionally here, and for the police, they feel that it is in the interest of public safety to leave it well enough alone, and so that's what we do. But yeah, that particular pursuit was a CHP pursuit coming through Orange County, and they went onto surface streets in Long Beach before ditching their car by the LA River,
that little bit of interaction right there kind of gives them,
when we last saw them,
gives law enforcement the idea that this person is still very desperate. The fact that he didn't just kind of submit when the officer's vehicle kind of blocked him in, made that turn and just kind of took off. So at any rate, that shows law enforcement that they're not going to just try to stop this vehicle. This guy might actually to ram an officer's vehicle, or even worse, try to use that vehicle as a weapon towards an officer. And that's probably one of the reasons also why we're not seeing any kind of aggressiveness from law enforcement to block this car in or to bring it to a stop. Now he's driving on the wrong side of the road again, using the center, using the left turn lane as his private center throughway. But it looks like I don't have it out the window there. Nope, I thought maybe we were kind of getting close to a freeway, but we're not. And it looks like he's just kind of making his way back over towards the Alhambra area.
They kind of know what they're doing, and we leave them
Okay, and we're just going to call this person a driver from now on, and apparently. So the driver continuing on here, we're on Valley Boulevard near Alhambra Avenue, making our way back towards the Alhambra area. Also, just driving along out here this morning, and now really just kind of blending in. But how this thing's going to come to an end, that's the big question mark for everybody involved. And law enforcement, I'm sure they have something in mind, but how it's going to unfold, that's the big question.
At this point, so she's just kind of leading us on kind of a cruise through Northeast LA, between Northeast LA and downtown LA. But as we move, we're basically paralleling the 10 freeway. We're maybe a quarter mile north of Cal State LA, the backside of Cal State LA at the very least here. So Alhambra Avenue in towards Alhambra, and this, from what we gather,
that might be what they were trying to whisper in my ear just a moment ago. You have to remember we have headsets on up here, and we have limited. We listen to a lot of different things. I'm listening to radios. I'm listening to Vinny and my pilot. And somebody just came in and just said, "We're just referring to that as a driver." So it's like, okay. But here we go, speeding up a little bit again and back into residential areas. Perhaps this is in a spot where the driver knows where they're at, but hopefully we just want to see this thing come to an end. That really is it. It's not that it's not riveting or anything like that. It's the longer it goes, the more chances that somebody's going to get hurt. Yeah, and there you go. It's a signature end where they pull up underneath a tree, and that makes it very difficult for us to actually keep an eye on it. But it looks like maybe he was just squeaking through. Maybe there was something down there that we didn't see. Continuing on out here, let me get the neighborhood name for you guys at least for this one, and but definitely solid El Sereno, definitely in the El Sereno area. But it looks like there might have been an opportunity for that van to come to a stop, but maybe that just wasn't the spot that the driver wanted. And now just kind of inching their way out. Very chatty. This person's been very chatty. It seems like even with other drivers down there, always having a little something to say to somebody or anybody that'll lend an ear. And now moving extremely slow on Alhambra, but the van's still moving. It's not. We don't see that kind of jerky movement because I'm always kind of hoping maybe this thing's just going to run out of gas. But at any rate, it does seem like it's still under its own power and it's not slowing itself down. It's the driver that's making this stuff happen.
Okay.
Right.
Right, and yeah, we kind of continued.
It was difficult. When we first got over it, I was, I was really worried that this thing was going to come to a crashing end somewhere. It was extremely high speeds, very small roads, a lot of fishtailing, a lot of hard turns. That van, I'm sure it's a great van, but it's definitely not designed for that type of driving, that type of aggressive driving. I was very concerned that that driver was going to lose control and perhaps get into an accident. But then after that, the speeds kind of slowed down, but the danger level stayed up high because we kept going through these intersections, kept running red lights. One time actually drove across a median and then actually went against traffic, so purposely driving against traffic. I'm not sure what's going on right there. That is a little unusual. Perhaps it's just two cars driving on the road right there, but that white car definitely kind of tracking the van right now. We'll see. We saw it already a couple of times. Somebody just kind of following it, but In this case, perhaps that's just regular traffic out there. I'm looking at the speeds. They're going what they should be doing. So at any rate, we're back on to Eastern. We're making our way back towards the area where he pulled off earlier on and dropped off the food, and using that left turn lane as his through lane again. That's always so very dangerous. You know, maybe he's going to go back to that spot where he dropped off the food, and hopefully, you know, maybe the food will still be there for them. Who knows? But he's continuing on, definitely making their way east on Eastern. And I remember this area too because of all those cones. He made a U-turn here earlier on, and looks like we're going to be doing something here again. So this is an area that this person, this driver, has been is very familiar with. And there you go. That white car definitely connected somehow, following along right there. So that wasn't just coincidence. And that motorcycle. That motorcycle too. That was something else that we saw earlier on. I was watching that bike. So
kind of complicates thing, as you mentioned, guys, for law enforcement.
Right, and he was just there just moments ago, and now following along as well. These are things, you know, even if they know that person, these are things that law enforcement does not want to in any way to happen. You just don't want to
come up on the left rear quarter like that. To me,
yes,
it seems like
definitely.
They almost want to get it.
Yes,
they
definitely.
almost want to get into a position to pit, but I don't think
you know, I can't really say, but it could be. Maybe it is law enforcement, perhaps in their own vehicle or an unmarked vehicle. But at any rate, that white car definitely not just happens to be tracking, but is there on purpose. And that motorcycle now kind of in tow with this little caravan of where's this van going to go type of situation. I got information from our awesome assignment desk that they have confirmation that the driver is female, and so not that it makes any difference, but it's still a suspect and still breaking the law and continuing to elude officers and put people in danger as this pursuit continues on out here this morning.
Okay. Yeah.
And look at this. This is the intersection earlier on where he gave the food away. This is and that woman was out waving at everybody. So you can see a number of people out here. You know,
sort of an exchange.
Yeah, and look, you got somebody coming up. You know, and this is the thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What?
Okay.
It's like, you know,
handing out food.
Yeah. So. You know, Tony, this is clearly a Los Angeles thing. I have seen pursuits in other states. I have never, regularly seen the public getting involved and getting out there and high-fiving, and you clearly handed that driver something. And a little bit of that fist pump. Why are you fist pumping this person? This driver could in 10 minutes could take somebody's life. This is nothing to be proud of. This is nothing to encourage. And now you can see speed's really starting to pick up out here again, and the driving becoming more erratic again. And definitely, I hope that person didn't encourage that driver, that female driver, to speed it up or get away or whatever, because that is just putting more people in danger and putting that driver in danger
over the course of the next several minutes. But yeah, definitely an increase in speed. So we'll see what she is intending to do here.
Right.
And just tracking behind you there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely, and that would have been. There's more people on the road down there. There was another group of 3 and some on the other side. So clearly this is an area that we've been through before. We've revisited it because you saw some people out there waiting for that van to come by, seeing what's going on.
And so the police are well aware.
You're right, Tony. You're beyond right. I mean, if anything, that person that came up to the window should have said, "Hey, just get out of the van."
Everyone is essentially trying to keep.
You're just going to go. Maybe offer to pay bail, whatever. But to encourage this thing to keep going to whatever that person said. The driver clearly sped up there for a little bit, and that's that's complete opposite of anything that anybody wants to see with this type of pursuit.
Yeah, we are essentially moving in towards Alhambra here, just on the north side of the tracks, the north side of Valley Boulevard here. So basically about half-mile north of Cal State LA.
We're actually triple checking right now, to be honest with you. LAPD was here for a while, but it's just like everything else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They have to get fuel as well. I'm sorry, Tony. Somebody was texting me something about the van and bringing them a turkey, and they're Uber Eats guys, and where is he? And so, at any rate, I thought it was something serious. But at any rate, the van continues on out here and staying in this general area where there's been a lot of, let's just say, public support, making his way back into the making her way back into the residential neighborhood. It's been a more than a moment, but this might be the area where where this whole thing was started, where we saw the van come to a stop, and the guy or the female get out and start moving that food. Right now, though, if it is, I hope the van comes to a stop again, the person gets out, and this thing just comes to an end. It looks like they're making a decision here where to go, or maybe the van ran out of gas.
Hang on a moment, let me see if I can maneuver out. Bear with us.
Well, it has a sunroof, and it's white. That's the only thing I can tell you, Tony. I can't say for sure. Yep. Some more interaction right there. That person clearly not saying what the driver wanted to hear, because basically pulled up. There was a little talk right there, and then the van kept moving. But it just shows you how quickly the public gets involved. And this is, I have to say, as far as I know, this is very just Los Angeles. I have not seen any type of interaction like this any place but in our city.
It is just a situation where they want to be increasingly cautious and careful. Yes, yeah, we're getting that sense too. Whoever might be in that dark-colored sedan might also be someone who is known to her or knows her, and maybe trying to
and it does. It puts other lives in danger. First and foremost, that is probably the biggest concern of any law enforcement, is that when other people start getting up close, and and that's the thing. You don't know who this driver is, and it's clearly a stolen vehicle. You might pull up next to it in your nice shiny whatever that is, and then the driver just rams into you, or tries to get away and hits your car. The whole thing is just crazy.
Northeast through Alhambra, turning northbound or heading northbound in this direction. You're not necessarily driving too crazy here, just stopping at some of the intersections, but yeah, someone trying to cut her off. So a lot of people trying to get involved here. Okay.
There we go again.
So this
there we go again, and this person has their phone out, so you don't know, recording video, doing something live right there.
I don't see it, Rich.
This is where it just becomes. It just becomes crazy.
Okay.
It's like, what is the point of all this?
So don't know who that was.
They got that person right there, doing whatever to get their couple minutes of fame.
Just trying to record her.
This driver, so far, you'd almost think, harmless in their own way, or not intending any harm. But that doesn't mean that the next person isn't going to be somebody that has an entirely different agenda, or any agenda. This person, this woman driving today, it clearly to us, just watching it, doesn't really have a plan. Just kind of driving around. We did see her get out, unload some food, and then basically, get blocked in. But other than that, clearly just has no place to go, and is just driving randomly around out here, knowing that law enforcement will basically be there eventually when that van comes to a stop. Right now, back into these little tight neighborhoods out here, some more interaction. There's another car right there pulled up next to him, and some more interaction. But in the end, Tony, all anybody really wants is to see this end peacefully. Ooh, a little bit of a hard turn right there. Really kind of got on the gas.
Yeah, that's just but
basically in the El Sereno area, we're back into these little tight neighborhood, very residential. Very quickly. Very 50 miles an hour. Going to be running some more stop signs right there. Also earlier on, because of that light rear end, anytime there's those dips in the road, that rear end starts hopping around. Also, I'm just assuming, probably not, have any kind of real driving, any kind of driving schools or high performance driving. And, that van starts hopping around, gets a little crazy. You got a crash. Somebody could get hurt. Another person running out there to see the spectacle of the white delivery van driving by. But at any rate, it's in these El Sereno neighborhoods, any neighborhoods or any roadways, this type of behavior. Here we go again, pulling over. And
hang on. Okay.
I wonder if this is where we were earlier, Tony. I'm not sure. It's not exactly the same spot.
Rich.
But
okay. Just.
Oh, no, 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 no,
oh, boy,
no,
here we go.
no. Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. Got into a, or
You're
trying to get into a Mini Cooper.
Just like we are.
Or it looks like a
he's
Mini
going to let
Cooper.
her. He's going to let
It's
her
behind
in.
the tree there.
He's going to let her in. And
Yeah,
she's
she
gonna
did.
back out
So,
and,
so
let's
somebody
see what
giving
this
this
guy does now, because does that make this guy an accessory?
Yeah.
Potentially. So.
And this is aiding
go.
and abetting. This is aiding and
for
abetting
what it's
a felon.
worth,
And
that second car
if this
is now
person gets
behind
pulled
this
over,
car.
no license
They are
plate.
both
This is
traveling through the
even more
residential
bizarre.
street.
This,
Gambier
you know, Tony,
Pueblo.
this just gets
Gambier
weirder
and
and weirder
Pueblo.
and weirder. And
So
now we're following,
the
and now we got
LAPD
other
does
cars
have
in
an
tow
airstrip
there as
directly
well.
above now, directly above.
So this
in that
person,
sense, they have,
I'm just going to
engaged
go
in
out
a
on a limb
situation where
here
they can
because
keep
we have
close
all
to
these
track
new
of
laws in
this,
California about
situation
you
here.
have
So
to have a
there's
license
the one
plate
car, and
on
now
your
the silver
vehicle.
car is gonna go
You know,
straight.
even if you buy
So the
something
silver
new, you
car
got those
is
new
gonna-
paper
is gonna
tags.
stick
So
around,
this
and the silver
person
car's bailing out.
clearly went out of their way to take their license plate off their car, get involved in this pursuit, and pick up this suspect. And
bear with me here, guys. Okay.
not a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
And
we're just
even if you
kinda coming
know
to
this
this
person,
is purely
you're still
residential at this
aiding and
point,
abetting
purely
in a
residential.
felon.
We're gonna be coming
And,
up on kind of a
apparently,
Okay,
whatever the
stopping,
conversation
stopping,
was,
stopping.
it was,
There's the white
you
sedan.
just, I thought they were pulling over.
White sedan that we
Basically,
saw
it was kind of
earlier is
almost getting
directly
blocked in.
behind,
So
the vehicle, or
again,
was
some
directly
more,
behind the vehicle and,
maybe some
ready
of
to
these
pull
people out
over.
on the road are
We
vigilantes.
might
Maybe
see
some of these
some
people
more
are pro
intervention at this point here. So,
driver of the
if
van.
this person
Who
decides
knows?
to
But
stop,
clearly, the situation
wow,
has
this is
changed.
just a weird one,
Now
guys.
you have somebody else picking up that wanted felon and continuing on right now.
Howdy, Lou. Howdy, Glenn. Good morning to you. We have been tracking a stolen vehicle pursuit for the better part of about an hour or an hour and a half.
Eventually.
Just moments ago, the suspect got out of that van, jumped into a secondary vehicle as a passenger. So the suspect in that initial stolen vehicle pursuit has jumped into this
Tony,
Mini,
just to
now
make
a
things
passenger
clear,
in
I went
this
out on
Mini.
a
Now,
limb,
what the
and the limb
intentions
broke,
are of
and I
this
fell.
driver, who
Vinny's
knows,
pushing in
but,
there, showing
the
me that
driver
it has a
apparently
temporary
willingly,
tag in the window, so
letting
that
the
probably is the
suspect,
reason why
the
this
pursuit
Mini
suspect
Cooper
into
does
the
not
vehicle
have
here.
any
So
plates on it.
they are
But
essentially now traveling
maybe this is a little bit less
traveling through,
planned than I
Alhambra
had
and
originally
northeast
thought.
LA,
Let's just leave it at
and
that.
have been
So,
for the better
anyways,
part
but
of an hour
you
and a
can
half
see,
now.
we
I
know
don't
for
know
a
if this
fact
person ahead of them is trying to
the
box them in or
suspect,
slow them down,
the female
but,
suspect of that
no,
stolen
he's gonna be
vehicle
pulling over to
inside
the
that
right,
Mini Cooper right
letting
now,
that
the Mini
Mini
Cooper
through,
continue to drive.
and now
You
that
know,
Mini
Tony,
is gonna
I
be
got to
still
wonder.
coming
You
through
know, law
residential
enforcement
neighborhood
is
over
watching
towards
this.
Valley
You know,
Boulevard
law
here, so we'll
enforcement
kinda
is
track
getting
this and
these,
see where it goes.
getting the information.
But, they should be
And
coming up on
you just kind of have to
well, kind
wonder:
of a
are
major street
they?
here.
Because of this,
Well,
new
they're
turn
gonna
of
go left.
events,
Okay,
are they
stick
going
the
to try to
residential
stop
area
that
here.
vehicle?
He's just made a left turn now eastbound on Ithaca Avenue from Endicott.
No sunroof.
So kind
No
of where we
sunroof.
are right now.
No sunroof.
Not too far from the campus of Cal State LA. And again, perhaps this driver.
That one,
be
no sunroof. The other one had a sunroof. So but we're not saying that it's not somebody that's watching and it's going, oh, I want to, I want to get, I want my 5 seconds of fame. There you go, LAPD definitely back in the game. You've got one of the helicopters very low down there. A lot more people out on the El Sereno streets out there cheering this thing on. But things have changed up. Now you got to wonder. Now the suspect not driving this car. LAPD or whatever law enforcement is in this area, they have got to be thinking to themselves, well, if we get behind this person, is this person going to comply? And chances are, I'm hoping that they will comply. Right now in an alleyway out there and just kind of continuing on. Don't know, never do if there's a destination, but this Mini Cooper continues to drive. More people down there. I think that car has been in our shot more than once already as well. So
maneuvers here,
go ahead.
And maybe get ahead of it here. So again, this is something that we are tracking. Okay.
Right. There we go. There we go. This is what I wanted to see. So, okay, Hollenbeck Division, LAPD right behind it. We can actually, I can actually listen in here, and we can kind of keep track of what's going on. But you just got to kind of wonder: is this driver going to comply, or and there they are. They kind of came to a stop. And
may have stopped.
The doors are open again. We don't know if they're out running or what's going to happen here. But see, and this is what we're talking about. LAPD, this isn't a game for them. This is go wide. Yeah, this is serious business, and right off the bat, right out of the box. These guys are trained. This isn't, I'm not going to pull my gun. They have to protect themselves. They have to protect the public. Here you go. Here's the backup that they've been waiting for, and this definitely coming to an end now. And the driver of that Mini Cooper, I am sure, is probably going to be in more trouble than the actual suspect for what took place in the last couple of minutes. Yes.
5's going to go to the north side. 7, I think that's you. I do have you. Okay, although I've got you over on the east side as well. I've got you there.
So the driver's out of the vehicle, and the only thing I can really hope is that they took the FOD or the key or whatever that Mini Cooper uses to stay running. They took that with them. It looks like another female right there, the driver of that car, hopefully took the keys, because that's all we need right now is for that suspect to jump seats and take off. Yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And as it go just a little wider, even though there are the trees right there, I believe that there's more people, or there might be somebody else out there. You see a lot of directions, right? And Vinny's saying too that it looks like the suspect has climbed into the driver's seat, and the only thing I can hope is that vehicle, the key is out of it, and that that driver's not, or that suspect is not just going to take off in this woman's Mini Cooper. Tony, in this one, you know what? I went on the limb one time about the license plate, and I was wrong.
I've got you.
The driver of the Mini Cooper is going into custody right there, and the suspect, the one that was driving the van, is still inside that Mini Cooper, and. Yes, we saw the arm. We saw an arm out of the window at one point where the officers. And go ahead, Tony. Right, maybe the key isn't there. Don't know. See that I saw the officers making a gesture towards somebody else. Stay wide, because we don't want to. I want to keep an eye on the Mini Cooper. We saw the officers directing somebody on the side. And yes, right. Not a little bit of a standoff, and there's another woman in custody as well that's not the driver of the van, and that perhaps may have been somebody that was just on the side of the road there. We saw officers right off the bat giving directions, I believe directions to somebody on the sidewalk when the Mini Cooper came to a stop. So the driver of the van, the female driver of the van that started all this, still inside the Mini Cooper. I believe she's in the driver's seat, because that was the last spot where we saw the hands come out. Now, is she refusing to come out of the Mini Cooper, or is this a situation where officers want to get the situation in their hands and then direct this person out? That I can't tell you right now for sure, but we do know that this thing's finally come to a stop, and I believe, hopefully, that Mini Cooper is disabled, meaning the key came with the redheaded female suspect that came out of the car.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to know, but, they are definitely taking one person into custody. We believe this might have been the driver of the vehicle here. There is still one person in that Mini, and we believe that's going to be the passenger, the original pursuit suspect here, but she may have gone or jumped into the driver's seat. Now, I don't know that the
oh, I'm sorry, Tony. They're going to forcefully remove that driver right now. They have less than lethal out there. Hopefully, they're going to unlock the door. I'd hate to see that woman get pulled through the window. She seemed to be a little bit of a larger lady, but it does look like they already have her out, and they're going to take her into custody right there. So this thing coming to an end finally after one of the strangest morning pursuits I have seen in forever.
Tough situation here where the law enforcement just didn't give up, and they will be taking her to the rear and eventually taking her into custody here. So let me see if I can get into a position here. But again, this is a pursuit that started in Alhambra earlier on this morning, a stolen van. And you know the video that you were watching before where she actually
that's right. We don't know the relationship. We don't know the connection. The only thing we can tell you for a fact is that everybody is in custody. Law enforcement definitely going to be talking to and inciting and a lot of these folks. I'm sure that this is, like I said, I would venture to say the driver of the Mini Cooper probably going to be in more trouble than the woman that we see right there in the center of the screen. This was strange, beyond strange, but nobody was hurt. The pursuit has come to an end, and all in all, this is the ending that all law enforcement like to see, except for the fact that they have extra paperwork to do because they got two other people in custody besides that suspect.
Hopefully she is going to be okay. Fortunately, no harm. It appears to any members of the public here. She was driving pretty erratically on surface streets as well as on freeways here. So at times she was kind of weaving in and out of lanes. She was blowing through red lights, blowing through stop signs here, and other times she was just kind of abiding by the rules of the road as pedestrians were just crossing the crosswalk here. So yeah, thank goodness it doesn't look like anyone was harmed during this pursuit here, which could have gone very badly here over the course of the past couple of hours. Thank you, Aldo. Over the course of the past couple of hours here, but as you can see, now in custody here, and they're going to be putting her back in the back of that police cruiser here, guys. That is very good news. I got you, bro. Okay. How you doing, Rich? Yeah. Boy, this was a weird one, huh? My goodness. Okay, 5's got you. Thanks, 18. No. Okay, Aldo, I got you back there, bro. Thank you.